Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to WatchYouWant.com. Thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at an exotic species, not only an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Chronograph. We're looking at the famous Panda. That's right, one of the themes watches released for 2008, the Panda became famous for its silvered megatapisserie dial with characteristic black, red, silver tricolor combination reminiscent of everyone's favorite giant marsupial. Now, the cool thing about the Panda is that it combines all of the traditional appeal of the Royal Oak Offshore with what might be the classic sports watch color scheme. A little dash of a white metal, a silvered dial, contrasting subdials and dial, dark, highly legible numerals, and a little splash of color, red, in the subdials, the hands of the chronograph functions, and just a hint on the calibration of the tachometer. This is a beautiful watch. Of all of the so-called theme Royal Oak Offshores released between 2007 and 2009, this one may be the most coherent. And this is one of the most popular and most acclaimed Royal Oak Offshore designs ever. And consider just how much mileage that covers. The Royal Oak Offshore came about in 1992 as an effort on the 20th anniversary of the original Royal Oak to create a younger man's Royal Oak, something that would appeal to a younger, hipper, more contemporary demographic than Audemars Piguet was able to court at the time. And the designer who penned the watch was only about, I want to say, 21 years old, Emmanuel Guite, at the time. He was a bit of a bomb thrower and a revolutionary, and the watch caused a sensation when it was unveiled at Basel that year. I can see why. First of all, 42 may not seem huge today, but back then it was gargantuan. The thickness of the case, the size of these lugs, the use of silicone on the pushers and the crown, it was unprecedented in a super premium watch to combine white gold bezel bolts with a stainless steel bezel, and some variants, of course, featured tutti frutti colors. They featured unconventional dial designs. The Royal Oak had become something of a sacrosanct icon of Audemars Piguet in any case by that point, so fans of the original, of course, railed against the new one. But I've got to say, 22 years later, the Offshore has become a classic in its own right, and it's said that something like 118 variants of the 42mm Royal Oak Offshore have been created, but this one, the Panda, is a standout. It's one that everyone knows. Even guys who aren't into AP, or AP guys who aren't into offshores, know the Panda. This watch gets you name recognition, yes, because Audemars Piguet and Offshore are well known, but people even call it by its nickname. That's how celebrated this model has been during its production run. So let's look a little deeper. Beyond the tricolor dial with the splashes of color on the chronograph function hands, the contrasting subdials, the high legibility, let's go a little bit deeper into what makes the Panda special. So deep, in fact, I want to go inside the case. Now, the late F series, so think tail end of 2007, maybe very beginning of 2008, began the transition from the old JLC 889 based Audemars Piguet chronograph caliber to the in-house Audemars Piguet caliber, known as the 3126 with a 3840 module. A lot of numbers. What matters is that inside, this Panda is gorgeous. It's far more presentable than its old JLC-engined predecessors because Audemars invested its in-house movement with the level of finish that you expect from a holy trinity watchmaker. I'm talking tight perlage on the base plate, Côte de Genève on all bridges. I'm talking beautifully beveled edges, screws whose heads have been polished and whose slots have been chamfered, and an engraved 22-karat gold winding rotor blazoned with the coat of arms of the Audemars and Piguet families, because this remains a family-owned watchmaker, the only large family-owned watchmaker still going independently in Swiss horology. Now, I'm going to amend that just to mention that the Stern family has owned Patek Philippe since 1932, but they are not the original founding family of the company. Jules Audemars and Edouard Piguet founded this company in 1875, and their progeny, their descendants way down the line, continue to run it. So this company, this watch, this model line have impeccable bloodlines. When you get an Offshore, you're getting something that's not just a big, stylish, high-quality watch. You're getting a truly historic pioneer. Because of the ground that it broke in 1992, other watches like the Hublot Big Bang and the King Power were able to be. Those watches would not have been if it weren't for the ground broken by AP with this model. So call it a monster if you will, but it has been an incredibly consequential, important, and revered monster because of its place in the history of Swiss horology. And within the history of the Royal Oak Offshore, few models are more admired, celebrated, or coveted than the Panda. This example, available from watchyouwant.com in outstanding condition, contains the Audemars Piguet in-house movement for additional craft watchmaking value. It presents as new in the hand. Everything from this fantastic, supple, contrasting hand-stitched hornback black alligator leather strap to the AP stylized deployant clasp to the individually numbered caseback and the pantograph engraved mega tapisserie dial presents as it would have when it left the Audemars Piguet authorized dealer or boutique. Now, watches like this don't come along every day. A chance to own a piece of history, an iconic model, and an iconic iteration of an iconic model are the ultimate opportunity for the collector of large sports watches, memorable sports watches, or Audemars Piguet in general. So this Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Chronograph is available from watchyouwant.com in superb condition for a collector connoisseur who loves history but wants to look sharp and contemporary at the same time. Check it out on our website, watchyouwant.com, in glorious high-res photography from our studio. I'm confident that when you see this Royal Oak Offshore, the Panda will become the watch you want.